Hey, I want to talk today about personal branding, which ultimately is my favorite topic. And I want to specifically talk about what journey I have gone through and how I think it might help you in your efforts to brand yourself online. Have you ever been told that you need a niche and you don't know what your niche is? If so, I can relate because that was me. Or have you ever been told that you need a niche and you have a niche and you stuck with it and you're like, yep, I am very clear. But then you want to talk about something else that isn't in your niche and you're like, I don't know how to weave this in. Do I just randomly talk about it? And that causes confusion for you. If so, I've also been there. So we're going to talk about niches. Do you need one? Do you not? And how I developed my own method of personal branding. Okay, so real quick, and this is not going to be a super long episode, but it's just something that I am so passionate about. So you're going to hear me talk about this quite often, actually. But I want to help you ditch the endless search for your one specific niche. I feel like the advice that, let's be honest, I have given myself. I taught this for years, that you needed a niche, and I've completely reversed my opinion on that. So it's not that I wasn't being genuine before. I honestly thought you needed one, and that's what I taught. I've changed my mind, which I'm allowed to do. Yay. So I no longer believe that you need a niche. I believe that you need a personal brand. So let's dive into that. That's kind of the thesis of this episode here. Creating a personal brand and making your content easier is what I have now realized that's my gift. It's my gift. I am just good at figuring out how to craft a personal brand and making it effortless. And so that has not come without a lot of pain. So let me tell you what that pain was that led me here, because I think so many people listening to this will relate. When I started in the online business, social media marketing world, I came in a wellness network marketing company. And I joined a team with a bunch of established wellness bloggers. I had actually found the product that I loved through a food blog, way back when. And I had just purchased the product and I was on auto ship for the product for 2 years. I had no idea what network marketing was. Maybe you've heard the story before, but ultimately I ended up, becoming a brand rep and promoting this wellness product. But the problem was I had no social media experience. I had no social media presence. I had no audience. I had no email list. I didn't know any of this stuff. I was a brand newbie to marketing, and all I knew was that I wanted to share this amazing thing that had helped me out with the world. And so, to make a very, very long story short, I attempted to be a content creator in the wellness niche, to be basically a wellness blogger. I did. I've since deleted that blog. And it's not that I wasn't into wellness. My whole life, I've been into fitness and working out and eating clean and just treating my body well. So it's not that it was disingenuous. I just wasn't a wellness blogger and had no intention of being one. And I kind of was like, well, I guess this is what I have to do. And so I did it, but it didn't feel right. It just wasn't me. Happy to practice that stuff in my own home, but I didn't want to represent myself online as a wellness blogger. So I very quickly figured out that was not my cup of tea. And I didn't know what to do from there. I was like, well, I have a wellness product. And if I'm not talking about wellness, then how am I going to sell this product? Right? It was confounding. And so you may have heard a version of this story before, but basically I went and hired a coach, a really, really, really expensive coach, and joined a year-long mastermind and figured out that this guy's going to teach me how to do it. And it was a fabulous program. I don't regret it one bit. But the advice was, figure out what your niche is. You can't talk about everything. You've got to talk about either the product or the business opportunity. Pick one. And I was like, I already tried the product, so why don't I try the business opportunity? And so from there on out, I talked about how to promote your business on social media. Well, hello, I didn't know crap about social media. Like, I didn't know anything. I was learning. And so what I ended up doing is just documenting my journey on social media. Okay. That is how I ended up growing my audience. That has honestly, like, I'm grateful for that, and it led me here. And so I'm glad that I did it. I talked about social media marketing for, 6 years out well until it didn't. And so I, at some point, started to feel really burnt out about talking about social media. I just was tired of it. I wanted to talk about anything else because again, just really like burnt out. And the problem is I had built this email list and all this stuff full of people who only wanted to hear about social media marketing and having me help them with their business and social media marketing. And so if I randomly came out of the blue and talked about the shoes that I wanted or, anything else, I was terrified that I was going to lose my audience. And so I would consult coaches and I would buy courses and I would do all this stuff to try to figure out, like, what do I do? How do I do this? I've got a niche, but I want to talk about other things. And I couldn't figure it out. I paid, God, my husband doesn't listen to this, thank God. I paid for the best branding course, like the best branding course. I got all the way through the course and was so frustrated because it didn't answer my question. And I say it was the best branding course because the information was so good. But I got on one of the live calls with the coach, like the creator of the course. And I was like, hey, what if I'm just a personal brand? Like, how do I do this? How do I apply your insanely effective method to my personal brand? He's like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Pick something. So me banging my head against the wall, realizing that I had just, learned a lot about marketing for niches and thrown a lot of money down the tube. I just was at my wit's end. So I was like, screw it. I'm a smart lady. I can figure this out. So I went on basically like a 2-year journey to figure out how to brand myself in a way that made sense, in a way that my audience understood, in a way that didn't dilute the fact that I was promoting a product. And by this time I had changed network marketing companies. So now a hair brand rep. Was talking about shampoo and hair care and things like that, which I do love. And I love freaking talking about that stuff. But it's just a much better fit for me personally. But I also wanted to talk still about social media and online marketing and personal branding and my IVF journey and, my remodel of my house in Texas and all this stuff. And I didn't know how to put it all together to make it make sense while also making sales. So if this resonates with you, you are not alone. Ultimately, I'm going to give you the bottom line up front of what I figured out in this journey. And then I'm going to give you a quick opportunity to basically learn all of the how-to in a workshop. But I realized that I am my niche. I am my niche. I don't need a niche. I am my niche. I am going to show up as a personal brand on social media and talk about the things that have affected my life and made my life better. Literally, that's the secret. That is the secret. I doubled my sales. I made company-wide leaderboards in my network marketing company. I sold the hell out of a bunch of courses, and I did it all with much less stress. I wasn't worrying about it. I was just posting what I wanted, but with a very specific strategy. Okay. Now, the specific strategy that I used isn't necessarily that important, but here's what you do need to know about it. You need to have clear offers. In other words, you need to know exactly what you're selling, and you need to start from that point and work your content strategy backwards. Instead of saying, who am I? And then randomly throwing out offers and randomly talking about what things you're selling. Okay. Influencers get this wrong all the time. and you can tell when they're promoting something that isn't in alignment with their values, their vibe. It just doesn't feel like a good fit. Like bells go off, and we've accepted it because we understand that people need to do sponsored content to live. So I'm not hating on people for that. But you can spot a mile away when people are just promoting things to promote things, right? I wanted to promote things that I had experience in and that I knew about and that I was passionate about. So ultimately, the key to success in this method is having a clear offer and know exactly what you're selling, and then linking your content back to that offer. So when you are a personal brand, you can talk about all sorts of things and you can sell multiple different things with that don't seemingly have any kind of connection, right? I'm going to sell a social media course and I'm going to sell you some shampoo. There is no connection between those things except for me. I am the connection between those things. So that's what I mean by you are your niche. As long as you are showing up and talking about how these things have affected your life and why they are important to you, then it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Because here's the thing, if you stress out about picking a niche like everyone is telling you to do, you probably aren't a subject matter expert in any one thing. You're going to feel stuck with one topic. You're going to overthink your content. You might even feel like you're pretending to be someone else. Like I was kind of feeling like a weird fake wellness blogger, even though I knew enough to do it. And, brand pillars are okay, they're okay. But ultimately, when you follow that kind of advice, you're still jumping around between topics and there's no real thread. So I developed a pretty concise little strategy to figure out what your offers are and link those back to clear messaging that converts to sales. And I can't really outline this on the podcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to enroll in my workshop. It is an on-demand workshop. I did it live 2 weeks ago, and now the replay is on demand. You can get it right now and go through it. And tonight, have all of this figured out. So if you're someone who's spent countless hours trying to figure out what your niche is, and you're stuck on that content creation piece, or maybe you just don't know what to post. Maybe you've been told that you are your niche and you understand the concept, but you have no idea what to post. You're not getting real responses to your content. Maybe you're burned out like I was. Then this workshop is 100% for you. It's the No Niche Sales Method workshop. Right now, between now and July 1st, it's on sale. So if you go to the link here in the show notes of wherever you're listening to this, you're going to see that it's on sale. Price will go up slightly on July 1st, but it'll still be available for you at a hell of a price on demand. So if you're listening to this after July 1st, do not worry. It is still well worth it. I'm just rewarding people with an early bird price between now and July 1st. So here are the details. In the training, I'm going to show you how to grow your audience and make sales without a niche, how to make content creation much, much easier, how to have confidence in your sales skills, even if you don't have major results yet, and basically how to understand the process to build a personal brand and sell multiple unrelated things very, very easily. That's kind of the key. And I know it works because I've done it. I've taught this method before. I taught this method kind of in piecemeal to people who were in the membership that I previously ran, but I've never taught it all in one. And so it's something that you can sit down, you can go through the workshop pretty simply, in an evening. It's not that long. It's, I think, a little over an hour. And it's going to help everything, I promise you. It's just a little bit of some tweaks. And it comes with a really effective worksheet that you can lay this out on. So you can literally write out your social media plan in, 30 minutes or less and have a roadmap on exactly how you can pitch what you're selling and have it all make sense, multiple unrelated things at once, and have it be fairly easy. So I am so excited to share this with you. Please, if you are listening to this and you have questions about the workshop or anything, just DM me on Instagram. Super easy. You're welcome to email me too, but DM on Instagram is always my default, always where I am hanging out. I don't necessarily hang out on Facebook all that much, so definitely find me on Instagram. So that's it. Would love to have you in that workshop, but even if you don't enroll in the workshop, what I want you to do is remember that you are your niche. And as long as you are clear in your offers meaning you are clear on why the thing you are selling is important to you, and you talk about that a lot, I promise you, you will find success. All right. I hope that helps. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.